back to the GLAC Studios. This is Gombati Sivasankaran. We are in class 3 of the Dhana Lakshmi painting, one of the 8 forms of Lakshmis or goddesses of health, wealth, and whatnot, all the good propensities of life, attracting abundance. This is an amazing painting that we are working on, and also what we are trying to do is slightly different from the usual. Google searched and figured out zillion pictures available and amazing paintings on the same subject available on the net. But what we are doing is a unique angle that we are trying to give. We are giving a diversity angle to that, and we are also trying to give the angle of women or girl child empowerment, and using little girls as the key personalities to be transformed into this little goddesses. Yeah. um, this is something that I felt so much motivated to work on, and I'm so happy that you have chosen this. This particular painting is about Dhana Lakshmi. Dhana refers to wealth, a wealth in terms of money, anything physical. But we also have to keep in mind that this is one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi that we are working on. So wealth doesn't just flow right in. We'll have to work towards it, and there are different angles to it, and how we approach it, ethically approach it, also tells the story of is it going to be a short earning, a bump in the earning and then going away immediately, or is it going to be, a ever flowing abundance? So there's a lot, in that aspect that we could talk about, which we will talk all the time. But just to summarize, what we did before we will start with in the today's session is that we are in this third class, isn't it? So the first class was essentially about using multiple references and just planning and strategizing. The second class was where we did, bring that plan into execution phase and, throw it in a canvas to see really does that, crazy idea work or not. And it looks like it works, but still, it's all muddled still, because there is a lot of grid lines and and there's so many things, numbers and such. So it's still muddled. We need to refine this um, what do you call it? Refine this execution to a certain degree, and to do that refinement, it's also important that we give a little bit of colors. So we are going to give colors, and what we do today is called filling or blocking, or essentially the second layer. In with respect to the materials, I have gone through the kind of materials that I'll be using in great detail in a basic session already. So I'm going to switch directly into the painting phase. But when I introduce a color, I will mention the color that I'm using, and also the brush numbers that I'm using. So yeah, that will be going on, and the reference images are already available to you. uh, we have looked into it, and we are going to work on it. So when I start with this kind of work, I would like to start with the color tonality, skin tonality of the child or the girl, and do the face and her body coloring. And the moment that is done, then we will move on to block other layers. This skin tonality, this is an Asian skin tonality, and most of the skin tonalities that I develop, doesn't matter whether it is Asian or European, I take 2 basic colors. I always do that. I start with this vermilion, and I do take yellow ochre. and the proportion in which I take maybe differs when it comes to when I want to show more of European, then I take a little more of the vermilion. Otherwise, it's all the same. And then I add primary yellow, or permanent yellow, or you can also call it lemon yellow, it doesn't matter. If it is an Asian colored skin tone, and these three will bring a darker color tone that you can see in my palette that is full here. This is the color. When I mix all three, that's the color tone that you get. To this, if we add white, titanium white, or flake white or anything, then the colors tend to come down, recede, the strongness recedes. Then you will find a right color tone for such Asian background skin colors. When it comes to European color tones, then the use of yellow I tend to use less, or maybe I will just ignore that and take these two into proportion and work with that, and add titanium white to build the variety or the range. Um, for now, from what I have done so far, I almost get to 80 to 90% closer to the skin tone with the help of these. Also, keeping in view that I don't do just one layer, then the layers and layers on top. I have used blue or very tiny little bit of blue or gray tone, not gray, blue or even green tonalities at some points when I have seen some cultures, there is this, it's not a bluey look, but because of the eyes are blue, there is some hue and so on. So, a slight bit of primary blue helps to change or switch the color tonality slightly. And in some faces, let's say when I do older faces where there is, nerves visible and such, then I feel the need to use a slight bit of green in the background to do the, give the feel that there is something there, the extra, the visibility of the nerve or something like that. Blue or green helps. Otherwise, this is the mostly used color tonalities. Now I'm going to, with the three color mixed here, I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white and see where I go with the tonality. And if I'm nearing 80%, I'll make a stop and take that. For the brush, I'm going to use flat brush number 1. Soft synthetic brushes. The oil is the same. There is this called linseed oil. Right, so I'm adding a bit of titanium white to this color, and I'm seeing where the color goes. Okay, I think I'm 80% there with the skin color that I wanted. I'm going to go with it. I'll also keep in mind that this is not the final layer. Yeah. So I don't aim for the perfection in color. I just need to have it as close as possible to help me do the job of blocking. Yeah. So I'm going to have this face. It helps. Yes. So I guess we are ready to roll. Let's get into the filling this face with this color. And also remember, in her picture that we have, there's a lot of baby hair strands that is falling on her forehead, and that part we will have to actually color it as her forehead first, and then at a later stage, not in this layer, definitely not in this layer, a few more layers after, we will have the skin tonality is concrete, then we can draw up all these small little baby hair strands. So remember that you might have to have a So it will look like she's got a larger forehead now. And another thing that we should be aware of is that the moment we are using these colors, it could be possible that your earlier colors that you have been using for the drawing or drawing the superstructure or the grids, all these colors would blend in at this point. If it is not dry enough, if the canvas isn't dry enough, it would blend, which is okay. It doesn't matter. Do not panic too much. If you have used lead pencils and the lead is blending, the color turns totally gray or towards grayish, um, and that can be fixed in the upcoming layers. Not immediately, but it gets resolved in the upcoming layers, and that's why I insisted that we try not to use it. But you have used it. If you have used it, it is okay. It is still fine. We can manage. We can live with it. We can work with it. It's just that we need to be a little more patient and wait for the colors to dry totally, and maybe the next layer will start looking slightly better for you. Mm? This one, even if it is looking gray, look for the point that it looks okay. The color could be different, but it looks okay on the whole as a picture. So aim for that. So I have filled in. I'm not going to work on the details yet. We might have to do a slight bit of detailing, not too much, just so we are able to see the overall picture, how it is. I'm going to take a bit of titanium white and use it here as a space in between her lips, so that the teeth area, we will fix that in a short while when we come to working on her lips. I'm going to use the skin tonality to work on her hands. So the hands, what did we talk about when we did the hands? The hands really represent the kind of action. In this case, we are talking about the goddess of wealth, and she's showering wealth all the time. Yeah. And first the thing is that she's giving. The action is to give. When you give, you get more. So we need to work really very well on the hands. I'm doing the arms first. Filling in the arms first. And then I will work on the hands, the palm and the fingers. In terms of the size of the hand, the arm and hands, I think it looks okay in alignment with the body size that we have created. At least for now. I don't see any large challenges here. Sometimes, when you have painted and everything is done, all the colors are done, then you might see more mistakes. So for now, things look okay. I'm just going to continue. And to work on the hands and the fingers, just note that it's a flat brush that I have, so I'm using the brush itself for making each and every line that I did to represent the each and every finger a little more thicker, so that it can be transformed into the full size fingers wherever whenever we come to the next level of work. Yeah, and the palm, the way the hand is. Now I can see the difference. This hand is slightly thicker. These three hands are okay, but this hand is slightly on the thinner side. So I'm going to fix that here. Done. The last but not the least important hand is the hand that is blessing us. Okay, I've mixed another color accidentally. You can see, no problem. The palm and then the space for each of the fingers. Yes. Okay, I guess we are done with that. And now it's time to go into the details of her face. We are not to work on entire detail, but also it's a balance. We need to give a little bit of detailing so we are able to see overall picture and say, okay, it looks okay. We are in the right directions, yes or no. So I'm taking a zero brush and I'm going to take a little bit of titanium white to fill in the eye portion, going back to her picture. So the sides, there is the eyeball or the iris and pupil, and the sides of that space is slightly on the lighter side, isn't it? So we just give that. That is enough. And now I need to take a little bit of ivory black to do her eyes. Her eyes definitely are on the blacky zone. They do have a shine, but we can work on the shine at a later point when we do the other layers. For now, I think this is fine. And I'm going to do the upper eyelid also in the same black color. Under eyelid, under eye is already showing nicely here. So I see that. Okay, so I've managed that, and her eyebrows are very thin and nice. I'm just going to use the same black to do it. Okay, here I sense that there is a mistake with her eyebrow that I made. Let me use the skin color to adjust this here. That's how it is. That's all it is here. So I think I have managed the eyebrows, the nose, the nostrils, I just try to give that. And I will go to using, I will not take this black anymore, ivory black anymore. I'm going to take the yellow ochre and mix it with this black to have a darker burnt umber kind of outlook, and I'll have it ready to work on her lip line and also the cheek shades and so on. So I'm going to start with her lip first. I'm doing the upper lip. And it also helps in this case. I'm thinking, I'm going to add a little bit of vermilion to that also. So it gets into that, deeper skin tone kind of a thing that can be easily converted because her lips are really on the light pinky side, but I want it dark now so that it is clearly visible and we are able to adjust things at this point. And then it's easier for us to maneuver through that and highlight it better because the darker colors tend to throw the lighter colors in front. Um, uh, a darker background really helps in that process. Then when we start working on her lip line here, now it looks much better. Yeah. And then there is this kind of dimple and the cheek. So what is now going on is that her face looks slightly bigger because we have made some space in the forehead for her hair strands. But otherwise, it's in the right zone, I can see. I think we're nearly there with the lip adjustments and just tweaking few more things. And oh, okay, that must be, now I get it. Okay, done. We just finish off this part and then we are ready to move on to the other stages or other places. Yes, I guess I will make a stop here with this. And I'm going to work on her clothing. I like the idea that it's got this maroon kind of clothing that she has. It's a sari, but we'll have her having only a blouse and a skirt kind of a thing. So it doesn't have all this sari kind of look, anyways. But the color goes well. I think I like the color. That color, something similar to the color I have is Mars red. I have Mars red with me that I like a lot. I will use that. And if you do not have Mars red, there is an easy way to create Mars red, I think. I have done it by adding burnt umber to vermilion. Yeah, it really comes close to the one that we did, very close to what we did here on her lips. It was a black and yellow ochre that turned into burnt umber, and then we added a vermilion. So it comes close to that, and now it's mixed with white, so it doesn't show very strong. But this is a strong color that you can easily build if you don't have one. Do not have to buy this. You can actually create this all by yourself. I'm going to take another brush to work on that. Before I get on to this color, I also want to work on her hair texture and all the jewelry part a bit. So the hair color that I want is, she's got a black hair, but it's not a blacky black all the time. Every time you look at a hair of Asian origin. It looks black, but it isn't really, that kind of blacky black. It's got a bit of yellow ochre or burnt umber mixed to it. So it has a slight bit of brownie aspect to it. So when you add a bit of yellow ochre to the ivory black that you have, you will get a kind of black that is close to the tonality of hair texture that you will see with Asian people of Asian origin. So yellow ochre, burnt umber, anything will do. It will come. It will be one step down to the ivory black. So I'm just trying to give that here. Lovely. I'm going to. Yes, I think this fits fine. I'm happy with this for now as a color. I'm looking for a spaces where you could show the color. I think this is enough. Right. So this color is taken care of, and right now, if I have to move to, another color zone that is near to gold, that is actually when you mix yellow ochre with primary yellow or lemon yellow, you get a kind of color that is that's close to this, kind of gold or jewelry kind of, you know, color tonality. So I'm using that, and I have brush number 3 round that I'm using to just fill in this crown. And also we need to look at all these gold pots. All these gold pots also have to be done in that way. So I'm just doing the crown space first, and somewhere around her neck I want to give it. I don't think we are going to do all the details of jewelry today, but just leave that done and finish that, and then come to the hip line where there is a belt that she's wearing. That's good. There is all ornaments in her hands, but we will work on that when we come to it. I think I missed working on one of her hands. Oh Lord. Okay, I still have the skin color left over, luckily. So this is what happens. Work on so many aspects. We miss out on something. But it's good that we are blocking, because we can see, if we miss something, it starts showing soon. This hand is also done. And now we are ready to move back to the gold aspect of it. I'm filling in the space for the pot. It's mixing with the colors there. That's okay. If it turns greeny, it is fine. Do not worry too much about it. So the pots that we have also built here on the sides, showering gold on her, needs to be covered as well. So, when we work on the background, I think we are going to have a tough time with this. We will come to that shortly. Layer 2 means layer 2 for every single millimeter of our canvas. Look at the colors. It's turning black almost, but I'm not worried too much about it. looking at the size of it, this one has to be slightly bigger. Okay, that's smaller. Okay, last three. The top one, I have to work on the, rim of the canvas. So I use the upper side of the top side of the canvas to do that. I'm not doing the, coins flowing through. Not now. We'll work on it later. So let's focus right now on the clothing, which I said I like the Mars red. It's called terracotta. In some oil painting brands, you might have found a terracotta, which is also the Mars red in a way, very close to Mars red. If not, I have said you can use a mixture of vermilion and burnt umber to get this color zonality. Yes. So I've taken brush number 4, brown, and I'm using this color directly, no mixing, nothing. I have this color zone. Okay. Once this is done, we'll focus on the lotus flower. Okay. I'm just moving this slightly further so it's easier for you to see that I'm working on the area where her legs are, folded legs are appearing. We don't see her foot or feet because it's all to be hidden in the inside the flower, lotus flower. So that's what it is. We see this, and okay, I think I'm happy with the base. Now I'm going to move into using. I need crimson. I'm going to take crimson and titanium white to build a pink kind of flower background or lotus flower color zone. Just using a little bit of crimson, and I want it to be really lighter lotus flower because the colors that we already have in this picture are dark, so really on the dark tonality. So taking a bit more of titanium white to see how. I'm not switching the brush because the tonalities are really close, and it doesn't matter. But if you're really keen on it, you can switch to another brush if you want. This is good enough. Good. Okay, I'm going to move this slightly upwards so you could see better. Okay, and there are lotuses also in her hand, remember that. So let's do the filling. Those lotus flowers. Good. And now for the lotus flowers here. We need to be really cautious. Huh? We have to use the petals to show that, she's seated inside the flower comfortably. Rather use this like this. I'm just sketching out those spaces first, which we have done in the previous session. So I'm just building onto that. Then it's easier for me to fill them or block them. Huh? This filling or black blocking is also in a way just similar to what we did in the first layer. We filled one single color, washed the cloth, the canvas clothing with one layer of color. That's exactly what we are doing here, but in a different way. Now that we have a picture to work with, we are using that picture looking for possibilities to make that the elements of the picture appear in different colors. So we have what we need also there, but at the same time we are filling in one more time the canvas with colors. So these are all good foundations that we could lay. I think I'm going to go back to the brush that I had with yellow ochre, yellow, and a bit of, the one that was used for all the gold, because there is also gold there's gold in here in the plate here. So I'm just doing the plate and filling in this section with another color. This is done. All right, now for the background. Okay, the $1,000,000 question of the background. What's going to be the background? I have a lot of pink in my palette now, left over from the previous session and also from today's session. So I'm taking all that, and I'm aware that the zone is totally pink and we have to have a different dimension to this. So to this color tonalities, I am going to add a bit of ultramarine blue, lighten up this color tonality a bit. So it is still on the side of pink, but it isn't the same pink because I added a bit of ultramarine blue. This color choice that I am making, again, I wouldn't really insist that you do it exactly the same way. If you like another color, please do try something different. The key aspects that we need to work on together is all done. So, the color of the dress and the color of the background, even the flower, if you want the lotus to be slightly different, it's also fine. You could experiment with that. So, I have taken another color tonality here altogether. It looks like this. Okay, it needs to be lightened. I'm going to take white. Lighten this up. It's a nice color that I'm building, and with respect to background, I also work on backgrounds for second and third layers, to go on up to fourth layer also, even for the background sometimes. So if the color doesn't sit well, I will rework on it. When it is dried, I will definitely rework on it. This color is good, and is it still different from the pink of the flower? I'm just checking that here. Yes, it is. So it is coming close to my expectations. So I'm going to go with it. I'm testing the flower first. I'm doing the contours of the flower to see if I can still, manage to show the variation. Looks good. I think it is manageable. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to speed up the process of filling in the background. The only thing that we could do is to start working on the contours of each and every element in the picture. That will help us at least define the areas where we shouldn't be touching. So that's easier. Once we had defined that, then the focus will be on the rest of the areas. I am continuing with my round brush number 5. I usually prefer to use a smaller brush also, because the contours sometimes, So I want to show you the pot is here. So that's why I wanted to do this like this to show you. So a smaller brush, if you want a thin brush to work with, that's also a good idea. Do that. For me, I feel okay with this brush now. Even though the brush is big, the tip is good, and I'm able to maneuver through without disturbing much of my key elements here. That is done, and now I have to work on the key elements right here. Just be aware that this color could mix easily with the black and tend to show gray. This is also a reason why we have to give some time. So I was coming to that. So once we are done fully filling in this layer 2 on the canvas, I would suggest that you give a break to your canvas and also to yourself, and resume only when your canvas is fully dry. For two reasons. One is that you can clearly see any mistakes, and then when it's dry, it's easier for you to focus on the next layer. the next layer we are going to do together is going to be really focused on depth and dimension. So if you have wondered by now that, oh my God, it's so flat, why are we doing a flat image? The focus was to fill, the focus was to block uh, the images and block our ideas into clear, what do you call, um, executable images here. Yeah. So that was the reason for this session today. So once we have achieved that, we'll have to just let it dry, and then the focus will be on, okay, from this picture, how do we evolve this picture into something a little more nicer, real, and so on. And then we work on what we call the depth and dimension and giving the light versus dark and such. So I like this cloth. This is a brand that I have worked on for somebody else. I think it was a private art commission that I worked on, and they. Uh, yeah, I think I liked it when I worked on it. Now I'm working on it for the second time, but it's been a while. Gave me the project, I think, a couple of years ago. Hmm. All right, then nearly there with this quarter. So we're going section by section and trying to fill everything. And as you can see at this moment that, the grids are starting to vanish. I work on the sides too, like I mentioned. So we do the top portion right away. Once the grids start to vanish and you see more of the colors, your idea sort of crystallizes in front of your eyes. And also for the eyes of people that you want to see. Yeah. So you can give a feedback to yourself. You can take feedback from others if you want, and then that's why I said, let it dry a bit and then work on it. So you will have more ideas and you will see more clearly, okay, that's a mistake and the proportion is wrong. Um, yeah, something is not right, so on. Yeah, so we know a little more about what we need to do. And I have taken care of this section almost. I prefer a larger brush for all these things, but there's so many small elements in this picture in all directions that I'm sticking onto this round brush number 5. So I wouldn't really advise this type of, strong movement of brush strokes inside the canvas when we come to the next layer. So these, like I said, we are blocking it, we're filling it, we are getting the every single thread in the canvas to observe the color and take it and be ready to take on further layers. That's exactly why we are doing it like this. Yeah. So I've done this. I have essentially this side to work with. See that the side isn't done. Okay, I'm just looking for the easiest way to work on this. Let's try. Nearly there to complete. There's one more side to go. Just think of it. 3 classes ago, we just had an empty canvas and nothing to work with. And then we have planned and executed and brought our idea into a vision that is that's concrete. Huh? Now the next step is to take this further to the level of to the level of completion. The level of completion, to the level that we can say that okay, the idea is now crystallized. Now the idea is pronounced with further depth and dimensions, and it's even more concrete. So we've laid a strong foundation for what's going to come up in the upcoming classes, and that we have done in just 3 classes. Look at it. Isn't that amazing? I'm just going to put it back in order so you could see that better. Cool. Yes. So this marks the completion of layer 2 and class 3 of this painting. I can already see some places where I would improve, I will rework and such. Yeah, but still, to a certain extent, I feel that it is, complete with the process of blocking. So I will let it rest, and then when it is fully ready, I'll also take a note of anything that I would like to change or such, and get back to it. That's how I will get started with the next class, and I also expect that you do the same, and so that you can get the best out of this whole exercise. I'm so happy that you're doing this along with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing your pictures as well whenever you want to share it with me. Until the time that we meet, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, Stay curious and stay motivated so that we can meet up in the next class and take this to the next level.